Connection terminated. On our way to that regionals. Let's go Imperial.
Today we have 461 players in the Tamers. That means we will have at max 9 rounds of Swiss or until there is one undefeated.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Digivord Gaming. I'm back after a long little break. Just been busy with work and family and stuff, you guys know. Anyways, I was able to compete in this weekend's regionals at San Diego here in my hometown. I went playing with Imperial One, as you can tell right here. Unfortunately for me, it didn't go so great. There were 9 rounds because they went to the 9th round. There was 3 undefeated during the 8th round, which was pretty insane. And yeah, I believe Metal Grugu X took it, and then followed up by Alphamon, and then the buddy Steve, who you can see in the video, the guy with the purple shirt walking in, Sorcerer Supreme Steve. That's why I put that on there. He came in 3rd, so congratulations to him. And if you guys also follow Coyotemon Plays, you should have a video for that deck profile and how his experience was for that event. So without further ado, let me just get into it. So like I said, there was 9 rounds. Out of those 9 rounds, I lost 5 and I only won 4. So I came in at 216th out of 461 players. For my first in-person regional event, I stuck it out all the way to the end. A lot of people dropped by the 3rd round. My roommates even dropped out by the 4th round, and I was just left pretty much alone with, like, not exactly alone, because I met a few people because they decided to go to the event too, which is pretty cool. I got to meet a lot of new people. I got to meet True Champion Steven. Dude was pretty cool. I don't know why people hate on him, but you know, he seems like a nice guy to me. Also met the Eggman, which was pretty cool. They were both commentating for the event. And like I said, it was a really good experience. Practically played Digimon for 9 hours straight on that Saturday, so it was intense. So without further ado, let me just get into the rounds real quick before I show you the deck profile, so you guys have an idea of how I ran the deck. There were definitely Imperial Dramon players in the tournament, and what's crazy is I didn't go up against a single Grandis. I didn't go up against Alphamon. I didn't even go up against Mastermon, which is insane, because like, or a security control matchup, none of those. But like, anyways, so first round, it was against Metal Grugu X, and we got to game 3 in that first round. And at the very end, I just kind of screwed up my play, really. And even if I did, actually, no, yeah, I did screw up the play. He had 3 in his stack left. No, he had 3 in his stack. No, he had 2 in his stack, I'm sorry. He had 2 in his stack, and I didn't swing with XV when I could have swung with him, but I was afraid that it would have been a Kakai's breath, and it wasn't. But even then, like, it just sucked. So I screwed that up at the 3rd game. And then unfortunately, what was so weird is that every time I went to game 3, I always bricked and I just lost. So that was first round. Second round was up against Emerald Knight Leon. You guys should check him out too. He has a channel here on YouTube. And he got to game 3 with me on the 2nd round. And on the 2nd round, on the 3rd game from that 2nd round, he Death X'd me with 14. And that actually ended up working out in his favor. So I couldn't go past the champion, basically. And he managed to get the win on that 3rd game. Then that was round 2. Round 3, I went up against a Black War Greymon X player. We also got to game 3, and when we got to game 3, I couldn't get past the champion because he would just de-digivolve my Peldramon or my XV and then pop my Vmons and then just start attacking at my unsuspended stuff and then popping my blockers, my Tamers with Black or Gray. So I got outpaced in the end. I didn't really break in that game, but it's just I didn't win it. So that was round 3. Round 4, I finally got a win and broke the curse. I did get to game 3 against Creepymon. Second game, I got decked out, which is pretty insane. And on the third game, I was just able to get into fighter mode and keep it long enough so I can keep on swinging at the stack and get the win in. So I was pretty excited about that one. That was round 4. The fifth round, I'm waiting for my opponent to show up, and then this 9-year-old boy just walks up in front of me and sits down. And as I'm shuffling my cards, I'm like, am I really gonna lose to a 9-year-old? And it was crazy. I actually 2-0'd him, and he was playing Metal Guru X. I just managed to choke him out like every single turn in both games. And poor little kid, but that kid was awesome, man, and I give him props. I even told him, I was like, you're better than half the players in here already, including me. So he just got unfortunate that I beat him. So that was the 5th round. The 6th round, I went up against Gato X Tribal. I've never gone up against that deck, so I didn't know what to expect, but I learned the hard way because I got 2-0'd right after I 2-0'd that little 9-year-old. I felt like it was karma. But yeah, the guy just 2-0'd me. He just kept on DP reducing my champions and my VMons, and I just couldn't get past the champion. That always seems to have been the problem, because most of the decks that I was going up against, they could control that, whether I could go past the champion or not, and that deck definitely did that. So that was the 6th round right there. The 7th round, I went up against the mirror match, which was pretty insane. But unfortunately for me, on the 3rd game, I literally opened up with 2 Megadeths, 2 Dual Tamers, the Kenan Davis, and 1 Ice Wall. And then when it came to my turn, I drew in to a rookie, but I had to choose whether dropped it and searched or just digivolved. I digivolved and it didn't help. And I drew into another rookie, and then that rookie I hard dropped it, and it just didn't help. So I lost the 7th round. 8th round, I'm waiting for my opponent to show up because I was like supposed to be the last round, but 3 players had gone undefeated. So anyways, the girl showed up. It was a girl, and all she told me was that she had already dropped because her sugar level was low, so she hadn't eaten anything throughout the event, and she just gave me the win. And unfortunately, I got the bye for that 8th round. And then that's when we went into 9th round. And in the 9th round, I went up against War Gray X. Got to game 3, and I practically did what the guy in the mirror match did to me. So I just got into dragon mode and then dropped 2 Pale Dramons on him basically within like the first 2 turns. And then just went for game. He was in a scoop at the last one, even though he was going to lose. But I asked him if he had Gaia Force in there. He said he had 1, but it wasn't in the stack. So unfortunately for him, I got the win. So enough about the rounds. Let me just go through the deck. Obviously, there's going to be things I'm going to change about this. I'm not going to be playing Imperial Dramon for BT10. I'm most likely going to be playing X-Ross. And I got some boxes coming in, so stay tuned for that. And we got, BT9 for another 3 weeks left. So I guess I can bring you guys some content from BT9 just while we still got it. And without further ado, let's just get into this. Pretty quick standard stuff, so... We played the 1 Upamon. I actually needed all 5 eggs. I believe this deck needs them all. A lot of people say you don't need them and that this is hurting you in the deck, but I disagree. So it actually came in through and it worked. So that's 1 Upa. We got the 4 Demi Vs. So anything with jamming on top of this, when you swing, draw a card. Simple as that. There's 5 eggs. We're gonna go on the rookies. We got 13 rookies in the deck. Starting off with the EX2 Labramons, playing 2 of them. So it's inheritable. It's just once per turn. If this Digimon on top of this has jamming, you gain a memory. It does come up because EXV is a jammer and it's a level 4. So you get the memory and you get the draw when it comes to swinging in with that EXV, which is pretty good for consistency and memory gaining. This card right here, my gosh, in the first round against that Metal Guru X player, in basically any game that my opponent had memory boosts on the board, I just dropped these and that would say it. I just shut them down. In fact, the only reason I went to game 3 in the first round is because I had 2 of these on the board. He kept bouncing them back and I just kept playing them again because I didn't want him to use. He had 2 memory boosts on the board that he never got to use on the third game, but it just slowly turned out into his favor in the end anyways. But this card definitely helped out a lot in the tournament. Playing two jamming Vmons. You hatch your egg, you go on top of it with this, you swing at your opponent's stack, and chip away while you draw a card every turn. It just sucks that they'll get rid of it as fast as possible. They won't let you keep that on the board, obviously, for obvious reasons. I'm playing two EX1 Vmons, so the combo with this is simple. You go into XV on top of this, you move it forward, you swing at the stack, you draw the card for the Demi V egg, and then you drop the Stingmon. You go into DNA, bring Paldramon or Dino B or even Chimera, and then unsuspends, right? Because it's a new Digimon. Then you gain a memory for that, which is pretty insane. Or even if you had already unsuspended, you just swing with Paldramon, and when it unsuspends, you gain the memory anyways. So that's pretty dope. Playing two BT8 Vmons. So with this one on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add one 2-colored blue card among them to your hand. And place the other ones at the bottom of the deck in any order. I'm sorry. Last but not least, we're playing 3 starter deck Vmon. On play, reveal the top 3. Add 1 card with free in its traits. And then put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Simple stuff. 13 rookies. I'm going to the champions now. We're playing 12 champions. For this card right here, it's a level 4. That its pay cost is 3, which is pretty broken. I had the common one at the event, and it was this dude. I can't believe I can't remember his name. I was trying to remember before I made the video, but he was a fellow Imperial player, and he had an extra one of these, and he hooked me and blessed me for $1. So, and this card did come in a lot and helped me going into Paldramon when I really needed to. So, shout out to the homie right there, man. I'm sorry I didn't do so good in the event, but you know, I was flexing on people with this little card here. So that's one of those. I'm playing one Lobomon. Of course, I got some blue Tamers in here, so when I had to close the games out, I did so with this. And most of the time too, I ended up just bottom decking it, which sucks sometimes, but it is what it is. And then we're playing two EX2 Leomons. His job was simple. As long as I had a Tamer on the board, he gained blocker on my opponent's turn, and then when he gets deleted, you gain 2 memory and draw a card. And it did come up a lot, actually. This card actually helped me from losing several games faster than I should have. And in some games, it actually helped me stay alive enough to beat my opponent. Then the next standard stuff, the 4 Stingmon. So while you have a blue Digimon in play, and you would play this from your hand, you reduce the cost by 1, so you only pay 3 for a level 4, that's green. Just like the other one, but the other one's already at 3 cost, so you don't have to reduce anything. And when you're attacking, his inheritable is you draw a card, and it's not once per turn. So standard and broken as hell. And then last but not least, we got your 4 EXVs. It has jamming, and then it gives anything with Imperial Dramon or free in its traits jamming when it's on top of this. So why not? You need this at 4. Otherwise, you can't make the main play with Paldramon, I mean, Imperial Dramon. So we're going to our ultimates. I went in with 2 Dino Bs. Dino B's pretty damn good sometimes, and it actually helped me win some games. So when you DNA Digivolve into this, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and that Digimon doesn't unsuspend during your owner's next unsuspend phase. Then his inheritable gives 2000 plus to anything on top of this. So your fighter mode becomes a 1500 attacker, and your dragon mode becomes 1400. So why not? 2 of those. And then last but not least, 4 Paldramons. This is the main boss of the deck, I would say. You DNA Digivolve for this. You shuffle anything with 6000 DP or less to the bottom of your owner's deck, and then once per turn when you attack, it unsuspends himself, so he always goes in for 2 swings. And the main combo is you go into XV, you bring him out, you swing, and then if you have the 3 memory, you drop the Stingmon, you DNA Digivolve, go into Paldramon, shuffle something back in, and then get 2 additional swings because he gets jamming due to the EXV, which is pretty damn good sometimes. Actually, more often than not. It's a good card. This is why I was playing the deck. which is crazy. I only got Death X once throughout the whole event, which I'm pretty happy about because I was afraid I'd get Death X in like the whole tournament all the time. We're gonna go into our megas now. I'm playing 2 dragon modes, Imperial Dramon. I said that backwards, but it's alright. So when digivolving, you basically just bring out any one level 4 that's green or blue. Well, one of each, and then you just bring it onto the board, and then you go into another Peldramon or a Dino, or you just keep swinging with the XVs, whatever you want to do. But this card is pretty damn good in the deck, and it's a 2 of for sure at most. And then last but not least, we're playing 2 fighter mode. This is practically a walking Megadeth that you can swing at your opponent with, and you can digivolve this for 2 on top of your dragon mode, which is awesome. And then when you digivolve, like I said, you return one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less to its owner's hand. More often than not, you're going to bounce something back with this. And then when you attack, if it has a blue Digimon Digi-Evolution card underneath this, unsuspend one of your Digimon. That includes himself. If a green card is in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So either way, this card's going to be swinging at something, and it's going to suspend something or unsuspend something. More often than not, it unsuspends itself. So that's it for the monsters. We're going to Tamers. I'm only playing 5 Tamers, and I feel like that's all I really need. This I could maybe bump it up to 3, but I just don't know. I don't want to be viable to Death X, so that's why I kept it kind of short. Anyways, you guys know what Davis does. You search the top 3. He says shoot a 3 every turn because of the memory fixing. And you add a blue and a green Digimon card among them. You can add 2 dual colored cards because they both meet the requirement. So pretty damn good. Davis. And then last but not least for the Tamers, we're playing 3 Davis and Ken. So this Tamer, I would say, is more essential than the other one, only because of the fact that it has both colors. And sometimes I'd open with Megadeths, and then I'd open with the regular Davis, and I can't even use the Megadeth because I have to have a green on the board as well. With this one, you just straight up drop it, and then you automatically have the color requirement for that. Also, at the start of your main phase, if you have a blue Digimon in play, gain a memory. If you have a green Digimon in play, gain a memory. So if you have multiples of these on the board, you're going to gain 1 for each color, and a stack on top of that. And then also, when one of your Digimon would digivolve into a Digimon with 2 or more colors, you may suspend this Tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. So most of the times, you would go into Peldramon and then swing twice. And then what do? It stays unsuspended, right? So if you have, like, let's say Hidden Potential discovered, and you have another Digimon on the board that's unsuspended, you play Hidden Potential, you suspend that Digimon, you go into Dragon mode for free or even Fighter mode because of the Hidden Potential, and at the very end you suspend this because it's a dual colored Digimon, and then now you have another swing in, which is pretty damn broke. And I did manage to pull that off in some of the games, so that's why I'm playing 3 of this over the 3 of the other Davis. That was a lot to explain. So we're gonna go into our options. So we got 10 options in here, 10 essential options. The very first one being hidden potential discovered. It's a 0 cost. It's at 1. The next time one of your dream Digimon digivolves this turn, you may suspend one of your Digimons to reduce the cost by 5. So Fighter mode is a 5 cost to Digi-Evolution, and then Dragon mode's a 4. That makes both of those basically free. That includes Peldramon and Dino B, as long as you're using Stingmon to go into those. So that's pretty nutty right there. And it did come up a lot too. And I also did bottom deck it a lot too, due to the fact that I was using blue memory boost in here. Playing 2 Hammer Spark, I had a huge conflict putting this at 2 because it's at 4, and I feel like this should be a 4 of. But like, since I'm running 3 of the dual Tamer, they kind of make up for that memory. So I was able to drop it down to 2 for the most part. But even then, this card's always good. I'm playing 1 Ice Wall because it's at 1, just like Hidden Potential discovered. This card helped me win games because I just kept choking people with it. And I would leave them at 1 and just activate this, and then, they would swing and just lose 2 memory and then go right back to me. So Ice Wall is definitely good. Playing 2 memory boosts, I'm gonna cut this card. More often than not, I would be whiffing and bottom decking my 1-ofs, and that just sucked. This card, I don't know. People are saying that it's best, at best, it's a 1-of, and I can agree with that. But when it's at 1, I never see it. So I rather just keep drawing and searching for stuff by like doing other things other than paying this, because at the end of the day, even the memory is not enough to help me get any further. And sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. More often than not, I feel like I can do more if I make space for other things, if I just take these 2 out. So I might most likely just take both of them out for the future. And then last but not least, playing 4 Megadeth. This card, man, what can I say about this card? This is like the main card I use to get rid of all my problems in the game. But at the same time, against War Grey X or Metal or War Greymon, well, Black War Greymon, if they have the X antibodies underneath them, it doesn't do shit. But against Alphamon, this card just breaks them. And you know, it's a 4-0 for sure. I would feel like I could just keep this at 4. I feel comfortable seeing it anytime I open with it because of the dual tamers, and I can easily get both the colors out. So yeah, 4 Megadeth. And that's it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay tuned. I do have a little collaboration going with Coyotemon Plays. So stay tuned for that. We'll both be choosing 3 different decks that we want to play with, and then just put them up against each other and see which ones are better or which ones are more consistent or whatever they win. So I hope you guys look forward to that, and I'll check you guys out later. Have a good one.